She's also Hare Krishna.
Yes.
And you?
Yes, I'm Hare Krishna.
So you have children?
I have one child.
And your husband, what does he do?
I don't have a husband, but we separated when she was 1 year old.
What does he do?
He does construction, car construction, and I think.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Building construction?
No, cars. Not construction.
Car
He works
mechanic.
as a mechanic, and he does painting, construction, maintenance. Yes.
So we can buy him a Rolls Royce.
Well, he lives in Florida.
Oh, he's there. Because this is another thing on the small scale. People get good car fixed and they flip, or the houses.
Mm-hmm.
So, see the work as the Hare Krishna described, that the material and beyond. So naturally, these are the necessity: food, clothes, shelter. Those are obvious. But then how to choose the source of income. So astrology, give you the guideline that what can be the best for you, because some people, it's like inbuilt genetic, beyond genetic. It can show you that some are good, e.g. become doctor, some are good for. And we can verify that even observing or looking. Look at the body of the family of Michael Jackson. 4, 5 brothers and mother, father. How only one became so successful because he followed the inner voice, inner voice of music. And it's not that he did lot of degrees and that, but he did what he loved doing. And that's called the flowing, with the flow. And not many people are that fortunate, So, in one weekend, he could generate the money his whole family can generate in 10 years. So, harmonize the two, the mind and the heart and the mind and the body. What they call, what is your calling in life? What do you feel?
What do I feel? I feel like when it comes to spirituality, I think it's daily practice of life, and I think when you balance everything out, your consciousness is better, and you can progress better in life without losing control of the mind.
Absolutely, yeah. Not just live like a machine, which normally most of the people are becoming. Machine, mechanical, job 9 to 5.
And they're unhappy.
Yeah.
You see them when you're driving. People early in the morning, they just look like they're so unhappy.
It has to be, because the life become mechanical. It's like controlled or ruled by the lower chakra, the belly button, feeding the stomach, feeding the body. That is very narrow vision. And then they get married and have children, and then the more worries, and the burden of children. And they don't have time to look what to educate the children. They make Then the children grow and make another children and another children of children. So if you are aware and conscious, you stop looking this cycle that look, if you brought a child in the world, what kind of education you want to give? The another children who are worried about feeding the belly, or who are something beyond material, something beyond material. What the word for material? You went to India, you learned that called material Maya.
Maya.
Eh?
Illusion, Maya. Yes.
But what is Maya?
Maya is an illusion of attraction of an illusion that is temporary and goes away.
Yeah, give an example of Maya.
The 7 principles in a Hare Krishna religion. No
Like
gambling,
Maya, yeah.
no illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication.
Yeah, those are like the book's description. But Maya is like that's what sees with the eyes is not exactly what it is, But how eyes know who is behind the eyes looking. When it is looking through the mind, which is also very limited and narrow, it cannot have capacity to see. Like I dream, I have like a, or you dream you have a gold aeroplane made up of gold and diamonds, like maybe one of the sultan. You wake up, you have to go to work. So what was the dream? It happened also in the case of a king, that the king was dreaming and he goes on for hunting, and the dream is dreaming like the king becomes in the forest, he become he get very hungry, and somebody gave him food, and when he is about to eat, and some animals come, and a bull comes and throw him out. So he says, oh, I was so hungry, so thirsty, and he had the food, and he's about to eat and he could not. But that's in the dream. So he got wake up saying, oh, I am the king. But in the dream I became beggar, could not even eat the food. So somehow he was a thinker. He had to find out what is the truth. Whether my dream was real or I am king now is real. What is real? What is the reality? What is the truth? So he invited a lot of people. He got very confused. He asked many teachers, and he could not get and then it happened that one of the, and if they could not convince the teachers, they will be put to jail. Otherwise, the one who could convince get half the kingdom. Yeah, he put, and then the lot of teachers, scholars come, and it's said about one of the great seers, great Pandit. He was put in jail, and his son Astavakra, who was born handicapped, but inside he was awakened. So he asked his mother, where is my father? Mother tells he is in the jail, and because of this he could not convince. But because he was born enlightened, he goes to the king and to convince him what is real, whether my the dream or beggar or whether I am king now, what is real? And this little child, he fully awake, he says, neither this nor that. You have heard of it? Neither this is dream that you are king, nor you are the dream that you are a beggar and hungry and miserable. That was it. So that's how the Veda scriptures, they can indicate, but they begin with pondering over neither this nor the neti. In Hindi that says. So then what is it? What is it? What is the truth? That comes question. Then he tell them the one which is avyakta, which cannot be spoken, which cannot be explained. That can be imparted by a Sadguru. Sadguru means the light within you. Not with the words, it cannot be described. So you want, once you get toward the light, then you want to give that kind of education which cannot be taught with the words and books only for the belly. You want to give that kind. Of course you give that too, for a skill, like your husband doing mechanic. You want to, but also that education as well, which is the self-knowledge, self-realization, or you can say knowing the self, knowing who am I. If that is not known, nothing is known. And if that is known, the beyond mind, there's a lot of words, the self, the Atma, the Krishna Loka, different words have been given, but words don't describe it because it cannot be put in words. Words can only describe so far, intellect can reach so far. And word which can describe is not it. They are like only description, like the word God or gold. The word gold, okay, here is the 5 kilo of gold. Then where is it? With the word. And once you are it, then you see that, then automatically, the words go in silence. That's how you observe, and the mother nature, the flower flowers without saying, come on, I'm flowering tomorrow or today. Even the little animals, birds, cats, people are attracted toward them because they are linear. They are not in duality, saying one thing, doing another, living another, being another. That's how the mind is under stress and misery and confusion. So do you like to give birth to already you have a child, you want to make him another one, robot, or you want to make him some conscious being and happy.
Yes, I would like to make her happy.
Because most of
conscious.
most of the people, they just send the schools, and schools are making robots.
Yep. Same education to every student.
So the revolution is the inner revolution. The truth cannot be taught. It can be caught, but truth can. Why? The reason, because the more and more books, and you get constipated in the head. People know too much of rules, and they're not living. Their life is not ecstatic. When you live God, it is like you don't need words. God is not the word, is so corrupted word. Once you live God, not believe in God, but live it, then your life is divinely intoxicated. Then none of the other things can charm you. Charm you means create charming effect. And that's why they call of Radha Krishna is the most charming. Why? The most real. How will I know? I cannot know. With the word, with the mind, I cannot. Of course, you get very high with the chanting, with the music, but that is just only the ABC. When you live it, and then the music born is totally different, because it's a living music. You went to India, to Bengal, the bowls of Bengal, they do not write their music or songs. They do not organize. It's spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
Spontaneous means natural. What is natural? Like the whole nature, like the sunlight coming, and the shadow not there. It does not tell the shadow, come on, I will be coming now, you have to. All spontaneousness. Like the hunger in you comes natural. So people nowadays cannot sleep because they are too much bombarded with the words, with the ideas, and with the worries. So one has to simple, natural, learning how to live. And the reason, because it's too simple, so we miss it. So it's like you do planting in a garden. You put it tender. The plant is very tender. You put a stick with it. Why? So it doesn't break. The same with the child. We want to have like at least 5-10 children. How old is your child?
5.
Yeah. 5 to 10 means innocent, tender. So actually, it's not that they need another conditioning. No, observe them what is flowering from inside. observing so that they can flower fully. That is the one way of self-realization. The school of self-realization is needed very much. It doesn't need to be 500 or 50, even with the 5 children. And in Vedic, they call it Gurukul, right?
Yes.
You know. So, Swami Prabhupada has already given the beautiful blessing to the West. All it is to not get it uncorrupted.
Yes.
Because some of the two organizers to organize too much and then it gets corrupt. So need to be rectified, and then it's not Eastern Western. Vedic is cosmic. That's why he started returning to the Godhead. Godhead means not your head. Your head will give headache.
Yes. Absolutely.
Your head will give headache. Godhead will give godliness. The life today, if you watch and observe, whether blue, green, going bus, go anywhere, all head, talking head. If you want to make money, you start an app of talking head. Because people are miserable, want to talk to. They no one really talk to. Your relatives are busy, they don't want to talk to, unless there is a motive and interest. You start a company talking head, and you charge, by minute. You'll be, because big need, big demand. And you don't need to say anything, just talking. But that is like blind leading the blind. That's good as a therapy. Because when you go to the Sadguru, you don't need to chatter anything. You just absorb the silence. But nowadays, the tradition don't understand that what language he is speaking through his silence. The biggest and the best satsang and best lecture you can do is not say anything. You can only listen when your head is quiet. Otherwise, you will be there and you will miss it. Like the two magnet, you don't need to speak, just automatically. The more and more silence enters, the more transfer. So this is like not a linear, it is more quantum education. The more and more science realize what is that time, space, where is the person, what the presence, it will happen. So that's what we are trying to create, that kind of education, that kind of Gurukul or school of inner learning. And then automatically all other things are given to you. Material follows as a shadow. That's how God takes care of all the cats and dogs and the squirrels. It's all automatic. You're lucky that you have been introduced into the Vedic uh, culture, except depends how you understand it, live it. Hmm.
Have you paused this video and do another session?
Hmm?
So you pause the video and do another session?
Yeah. So